illustrating a children's picture book has always been a very big dream of mine. And even though I have read countless books and taken courses and workshops and like master courses, I still just don't feel ready. But something kind of special happened a few days ago. Basically, a very messy sketchbook doodle that I did uh, it weirdly gave me the courage to take this picture book dream that I've had off the back burner and give it a real shot. Like, actually try and do this. But more on that later. So, even though I don't feel ready, and I have no idea what I'm doing, like at all, I know that I owe it to myself to give this a try, and I'm just kind of trusting that I will have the wherewithal to figure it out along the way as I go. And this is a journey that I feel like is going to be really interesting. It's something that I'm super interested in, and I have watched hundreds of YouTube videos on. And I thought it would be fun if I brought you along with me and we can figure out how to make a picture book, illustrate, and do everything that comes along with that together. So if it has been a dream of yours for a long time to write or illustrate a picture book, I feel like this is going to be a fun little adventure that we can take together. So, as I said earlier, this whole thing all came about because I did a messy and, quite frankly, bad drawing in my sketchbook. And for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, the like bad art that I do is so much more motivating than the good art. So, my most recent video, I did a sketchbook playdate where we did time drawings and we did like fun folk art doodles. And I drew this mermaid, and I don't love how it ended up. It's not the best thing ever, but I knew that I could do better. And this is kind of like where the idea sparked and came from. And I think it's so interesting because, like I said, hundreds of times I've sat down to be like, I'm going to write this children's book, I am going to illustrate it. And nothing, no spark, no inspiration ever came, and nothing came of it. But it's funny how when you are playing and you're not meaning to do anything, like inspiration can just find you. And it reminds me of that like Pablo Picasso quote that's what does he say? Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. And I just think that's so true in this scenario. Like you can't force it. And so I honestly, my best advice if you were in a space like me and this is something that you wanted to do, but it just wasn't happening, I would definitely schedule some time for play and like whatever that looks like for you. For me, it was painting and messing around in my sketchbook, but maybe for you, it's like going outside and playing with sidewalk chalk or taking out some Play Doh and playing. Like, I know I'm naming a lot of like really kid friendly activities, but I don't think there's any shame in having that childlike wonder and kind of approaching creativity as if you were a child and you're just here to play around and have fun. Because I feel like that's when the best ideas come. I know I was a little bit embarrassed when I had the spark and I had the idea. My boyfriend came home and I was like, "Hey, how was your day at work? You know, how's it going?" And he was like, "Good, good. Like, what did you do today?" And I was like embarrassed, but I was like, I drew a mermaid and then I wrote a poem about her and then I made a YouTube short about it." And that's kind of like where this idea sparked. And going a level deeper than that, I feel like not only is play really important, but I feel like it's really important to follow your creative curiosities, like wherever they may lead you. Because, like I said, I drew the mermaid, it sucked. I knew I could do better. I wanted to draw another mermaid. And as I was drawing this mermaid, the drawing kind of evolved from like a single standalone illustration. And I started kind of like seeing this vision in my head. Like the mermaid I was drawing really reminded me of the mermaids I had seen when I was in Mexico. Like there is a lot of beautiful sculptures and art in Oaxaca where I was, and I kind of went down a rabbit hole and was like looking up symbolism like the sun and the moon and what that meant in Mexican culture and like how folk art evolved in Mexico. Just it was just something I was curious about and it sparked my interest and I just let myself go down the research rabbit hole. And I don't think this illustration or this story would have come about had I not have just let myself follow my creative curiosities. I was really stoked on the mermaid sketch. It wasn't it's not I haven't even finished the art yet. It's not finished art, but I was just so excited about the mermaid sketch and I really wanted to share it and I thought, "Oh, I'll make a YouTube short. Like that'll be a good way to share the time lapse that I did in Procreate." And then I was thinking, I want some type of audio to go along with that. And so I decided to write a poem about my mermaid. And as I was writing it, I was kind of like hearing and seeing this like emotion. Like I really wanted it to sound like it was an old, like passed down folklore story of this mermaid. I was more like very much focused on the feeling I wanted my viewer to have, like kind of like a bedtime story, like yeah, so that's what I was writing, and then I started recording the voiceover for that YouTube short, and I realized my poem had a little bit of a cadence to it, and it did sound like a bedtime story, so I tweaked it and edited it, and then I posted it. And your guys' feedback was, like, just so encouraging, like, you guys were like, "Wait, you wrote this? Like, this isn't some passed down story from, I don't know, wherever?" And then some people were like, "This has to be a picture book." And with your guys' encouragement, it kinda got me thinking like, yeah, maybe this could be a picture book. Like, it's a very short poem. I don't know how to illustrate a story. I know that's very different from a standalone illustration, but this is something I've always wanted to do. And then when I talked to my boyfriend about it, he was like, "I think this is a really good idea." Like he was very very encouraging to me, very much supported me and was like, "I think you should do this." And so that is how this kind of evolved. And like I said, after I posted it, your guys' encouragement was so nice and amazing. But also, when I had the chance to watch the YouTube short back a few times and listen to myself reading this story, I like closed my eyes and I could just see the artwork for this book like laid out how I wanted it and I don't know. I know that I don't have all the skills, but I feel like I'm gonna figure it out, and I feel like this can be a very fun project for us to kind of learn how to publish a children's picture book together. So I just wanted to invite you along with me on this journey. I am super stoked about everything that's coming up. I guess the next video will probably be me picking out like a cut size, chopping up the manuscript and figuring out how many pages, because typically picture books are in pages of 8, like 8, 16, 32, and that's counting like end pages, like if you do self-ended pages. Yeah, I'm really excited to get into this and start thumbnailing and imagine the flow of it, and I think it could be a really fun project, and I just wanted to share that with you. And yeah. So if you are at all interested in this realm of illustration and self-publishing and picture books and all this stuff, character development, I invite you to subscribe for sure because you are not going to want to miss out on everything that is to come. So yeah, I'm just securely excited. And thank you so much for, being here and your encouragement on that little mermaid poem, and I look forward to figuring this out together. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.